Hey, everybody, welcome to Daily Distinction. Glad that you're here on a Saturday. and I'm downstairs, not in the office today, just doing some work here, and it's great to be with you. Hope I'm coming through because we have had internet problems all day long, and I've been on the phone. Some of you may have heard me say yesterday, the thing I want to say to Cox Cable's helpline is, have you looked up the definition of help? Because oh man, I'm telling you, it's please let me know if we're coming through at all here. I see some folks. Hey, Pam, thank you. Pam Berg sent me today. It's a clipping of when I was inducted into the Speakers Hall of Fame, and it was combined with the announcement of when she was getting married, and the page was on the same thing in the newsletter. So I really appreciate that, Pam. That was so cool of you to send that. That was so nice. Hey, Brian, thanks. Happy weekend to you too. I really appreciate it. Dwayne, I can't wait to get it. Thank you for what you got with the box. Now, if you're wondering what the hat is, it's the topic of what we're going to talk about today. So I'm gonna get into that in just a moment. But I would ask you please to share this, if you will, today. Please share that we are here, and you can't believe, man. I think I'm going to start a class on how to get more views on social media, and the answer is have one of the Oak Ridge Boys as your guest. Because oh man, we are up to thousands. I mean, we're 5, 6, 7,000. I haven't checked here in the last little bit of views of the interview that I did with Joe Bonsall earlier this week. So a big thank you to Joe for doing that. I really appreciate it, Joe. And thank you for everybody for sharing and getting it out there. So I appreciate that. So really glad to see so many folks are enjoying the interview. We've got several thousand views of what I did with Phil Jones. So if you haven't seen that, hey, Weldon, great to see you. If you haven't seen the interviews with Joe Bonsall of the Oak Ridge Boys or with Phil Jones, the author of Exactly What to Say, that is available on Facebook and Twitter. You can just go back and do the search on that. But I think it's worth seeing. I think you'll enjoy it. So hey, it's a beautiful Saturday here in Las Vegas. It's hot, as you might imagine. I was trying to do this from outside. The connection was even worse there, so I came in the house to do this, and that gets today's episodes be a little shorter than what that usually is. But what I wanted to talk about was the one thing that you got to do you really need to do during this incredible time. Hey, Talene, so great to see you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, Dwayne, I'll tell you, it takes 40 years of friendship to get to the point that I could feel okay to do one like that with the Oak Ridge Boys. And Joe has been a good friend for a long time. Maybe you saw I posted a picture from like 6 years ago of us hanging out. That was on Facebook today. So look, these are such changing times. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And everything's kind of getting back out. I talked to a couple buddies yesterday, and they were talking about they'd gone to a restaurant for the first time and had dinner at a restaurant. And they said it felt so strange because the tables are so far apart, right? And the owner of the restaurant came over, and one friend of mine, Joe, the owner of the restaurant, is over talking to him, and the owner's wearing a mask while Joe is sitting there enjoying his meal in that guy's restaurant in Nashville. And so it's so different. It's so, Tammy and I have a reservation tonight, and we are still debating about whether or not we're going to go. Do you feel that way? I mean, it's like, it's not that I hate when people say, oh, don't be afraid. Get it? It's not fear. It is reasonable caution. It's trying to think what is the right thing to do. And then we want to support, we have friends that are servers at this restaurant. We want to support the restaurant. We want to support our friends. And we're also wanting to, get out and feel normal again, but yet at the same time, you want to exercise a reasonable degree of caution in anything. So we're still debating. Are we going to do it or not? I don't know. I'll keep you posted. That'll be tomorrow, is whether we did or whether we didn't, and why we made the choice that we made. But what I'm doing this weekend, you've heard me talk here before about how, buying business has certainly changed, right? There's no meetings going on. There's no conventions going on where people travel to the event and where they bring in a keynote speaker or an author to talk during the program. So, our business has hit a brick wall. We have gone to essentially zero income. And it's an incredible challenge. Well, so one of the things that I've always meant to do and haven't done simply because of the travel schedule and the other demands of the business is to do a program where I can coach entrepreneurs, individual entrepreneurs, on how to create distinction for their business. In other words, I'm asking, what would your life be like if you stood out from the competition and you weren't caught up in that daily grind of everything that it takes to beat the competitor in your chosen field? And for some folks, that, if you're a dry cleaners, for some folks, that means the dry cleaners down the road. If you're in a business, promotional products, Dwayne, for example, your competitor might be 5,000 miles away, but you still compete. So what does it take to create space in the marketplace? What does it take to create distinction? And as many of you know, that's what I've studied for almost a decade now, and I've written books about it, and that's what I speak about. But it's typically been for corporations, not for dentists, right? Why would you choose one dentist over another? That's what we have independent research, verifiable research on, and that's what I've studied and researched. So that's what we're working on. That's what we're preparing on, and then even to the point that we'd have masterminds. So we'd get 10 entrepreneurs together and bounce ideas around, because through our Ultimate Business Summit program, part of what we discovered was that it's absolutely amazing what the problem that a chimney sweep in Nashville is having is the same as somebody who is dealing with liability insurance in Orange County, California is having. And so together we can mastermind these challenges, these issues, and leverage the success that each other has had in creating distinction. So anyway, that's what I've wanted to do and really have driven to do. But because of the press and time and everything of getting the next book done and getting to the next speech and keeping the speak, but so we're going to do that. And so now, how do you create that program and how do you launch it? And that's an area that I don't know. I know how to make your business distinctive, but how do you take a program like that and take it out into the world is something I kind of know about, but it's not really my field of expertise. So I have been attending all week long. It's called PLF, Product Launch Formula, with the guy named Jeff Walker. And it is a 3-day, we're on lunch break right now, a 3-day virtual program. First of all, I'm blown away at how engaging and amazing virtual programs are. It's just incredible. He'll speak, so you're taking notes, and right when the meeting started yesterday, the doorbell here at my house rang, and Tammy opened the door, and there's a package there, and it's a box, and it was your notebook for the program, and this cap, and all that kind of cool stuff to get the program going. So incredible engagement. So you're sitting and you're listening and you're taking notes, and then he says, okay, so now we're going to go into breakouts. Now there's probably 1,500 people watching this program. And he says, so now we'll go into breakouts. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden 5 other people pop up on my screen. I'm in a group of 6, and we talk about what's just been talked about. And one person is in France, one person's in Australia, one person's in Dallas, one person's in New York City, and here I sit in Las Vegas, and we're talking about it. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So what he's teaching and talking about is something that I need to learn. And that's the topic today I'd like to talk to you about. And that is, the one thing you got to do is continue to learn. My grandfather used to say, when you're green, you're growing, and when you're ripe, you've started to rot. Can I repeat that? When you're green, you're growing, but when you're ripe, you've started to rot. And I think that's so true. The older I get, the smarter my grandfather is, right? It's absolutely amazing that as long as we have a passion to grow and to learn and to get better at what we do, then imagine how much we can expand and how much we can grow. You know, some people go to the ocean with a thimble, and that's all that they can take out. And some people go to the ocean with huge buckets, and that's what they want to take out. There is so much knowledge out there. There is so much opportunity out there. Are you going to this ocean of opportunity with a thimble or with a bucket? And what we have to do, hey, Mike, how are you? It's so great. Here, talk about somebody who's making a difference. My friend Michael makes such an incredible impact on so many people. He talks about safety for young people. He talks about integrity. Just check him out online. I almost hate to describe what you talk about, Mike, because you do it so well, and I would be much inferior in terms of describing it. But talk about somebody who makes a difference every day. And gosh, if there's somebody that needs to be in front of young people, and it's a tragedy what's going on, because young people aren't getting the chance to, and anyone needs the chance to hear what Michael's talking about. So, well, hey, there you go, Dwayne. All right. So the key is continued learning. And I think part of what happens, it's the old joke, but I basically heard it. You graduate from high school, and I had somebody say, "Thank God I'll never have to read another book again for the rest of my life," right? Or they get out of college and think, "All right, well, I have my degree. That means I know it now," and they don't continue to grow, and they don't continue to learn, they don't continue to develop, and it's terrifically sad. Because, man, the skills that you got, I read a thing the other day, and I won't get the numbers right on this specifically, but it said that of today's college graduates, so we talked about them yesterday about the commencement that they're not having, but of today's college graduates, the estimates are somewhere around 60% of the college graduates right now, 60% of them are going to retire from jobs that have not yet been created. Think about that for a minute. The job they're going to retire from hasn't even been thought of yet. So it kind of gets back to what we were talking about yesterday. If you say, "I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life," that's okay. It might not have been invented yet. But if we don't continue to learn, how do you take that same base set of skills in this rapidly changing world and think that you're going to be even competent? You won't even be competent unless you continue to learn and to grow and to change and to expand. There's been some incredible studies done on unemployment. And when jobs are eliminated because of technology, what happens in people's lives when they learn a new skill? You can imagine when they learn a new skill and they're able to be employed, their self-esteem goes up, their personal concept goes up, their confidence improves. Obviously, their financial situation improves. They're better able to take care of their families. And the whole key is learning. The whole key is, are you willing to learn and grow into something new? Hey, Jeff, yeah, it's like I've joked with our minister about this, Jeff. I have people that have said, we had this happen at a recent meeting. We had somebody say, "Well, I've heard Scott speak before. I don't need to hear it again." I kind of get that perception, but I've been showing my minister, it'd be like him saying, "Hey, we've talked about this Bible thing before. I don't know why we need to go over it again." but we do, week after week after week. And the reason is because the more you drill into something that matters, the more you learn about it, the more you discover about it. And we need to keep focusing on learning how to use those things our grandparents were so smart about with the technology that we have now, right? Some of the basic things, being nice, dealing with people properly, all of those things still apply. They still apply, but we just have to learn how to use it in today's world. Oh, Michael, it goes both directions, my friend. I tell you, I'm just so impressed, and you are carrying the sword, carrying the banner into a marketplace that needs what you have to say. And I know lives are changed by, one of my pet peeves are speakers that the reason they want to speak is to change lives. I want to change the world, going to change lives. And I've always thought, at best, you're the catalyst that help people change themselves. But if there's anybody that could say about changing lives, it's when you work with youth, and it's when you help people in the way that my friend Michael is doing. So thank you for that. Yeah, I saw that. Charles Fred Willard passed away today. If you don't know who Fred Willard is, he's one of the great comedic actors of all time. He goes back to everything from being with Martin Mull on Fernwood Tonight to up today. He was a Modern Family. He was Phil's dad on Modern Family. And I was such a big fan of what he did with Christopher Guest in Best of Show and movies like that. He was just an amazing comedic talent. Yeah, so sad to hear of his passing today. Yeah, I do the same, Dwayne. And Tammy and I, we're binging 24 again because of our new friendship with Glenn Morshower. And one of the things that we're finding is we've already seen it. Right? These are shows that we've already seen. And I missed that the first time, or I don't remember that from the first time. So binging on something that you've already seen illuminates new things. And that's part of the reason I'm excited about going through this program and going through this course and creating courses is that, when I'm on stage and I'm speaking, and Michael, I'm sure the same with you. I mean, you're on stage and you're speaking and you walk off and you think, gosh, I hope they got all that, and they didn't. There's no way that they can. And the great thing about a course is you can go back and replay it and you can re-listen to it and you can, communicate with other people that are going through it. And just the intensity of the learning illuminates things when you hear it over and over, or you can repeat it over and over. I'm going through a course here. That's another thing I'm doing is going through another course for the third time. And I don't know, thank God for slow learners, I guess, but I'm still learning from the material, even though it's the third time I've been through it. But what happens is, and I hope this happens on Daily Distinction, but one of the things that happens is something is said, right? You're hearing something or you're reading something and it triggers a thought. Now, the author or the speaker triggered that thought, but what you're doing is processing that through the prism of your own experience. And now you're thinking about, how does that apply to me? And what can I do about that? And how do I... And as you're going through that, then all of a sudden you think, oh, better. And now you get back into what the speaker is saying or what the book is saying or whatever. And you've missed something. It's okay because you're having thoughts about how all that relates to you. And that's the total importance of it is, how do you work this for you? How do you make this work for you? But it also causes you to miss some of the things that you need to know. So that's one of the great things about being able to repeat. I ever read about the apostles dozens of times. Yeah, absolutely, Charles. And it's so true. I mean, the more we study, the more we learn, even when we're reviewing what we already know. So that's the message of today, is that if there's one thing that you really make sure that you do as we continue to deal with what's happening in the world right now, is that you've got to continue to learn. You've got to continue to study. You've got to continue to expand your core of knowledge. And I'm going to challenge you to think about something that you might find offensive at first. But I'd like to challenge you to examine alternative viewpoints, right? See, most people, it's called confirmation bias. What we look for is information that confirms what we already believe. Well, how do you expand your base of knowledge if what you're looking for is something to confirm what you already think? That doesn't help you grow. So if you're a conservative, I'd love for you to spend just an hour watching MSNBC. And if you're a liberal, I'd love for you to spend just an hour watching Fox. Those are just examples, but it might be that if you are, whatever you are, what's the other side? Now, look, I'm not saying that you have to agree with it. I'm not saying, please don't misunderstand that. I am not promoting one agenda over another or anything like that. But I want to make sure we don't get caught in the echo chamber. You might learn something about what the other side thinks. This is what's always fascinated me about politics or any type of marketing. One of the things I've said before is, oh, hey, Blue, how you doing? I'm just talking about how great PLF is. This is Blue, and I'm just shooting my video, but this is the thing I do every day here on Facebook Live. Blue and his awesome wife, Barry, are the ones who are making this event happen that I'm attending, that I've just been bragging about, and I'm attending their event next weekend on how to do virtual events. Blue, if you'd like, would you put up the link if you get a moment? I know you're slammed with everything that you're doing, But if you could put up the link, if you can hear me, because I know that these folks are running this incredible event with all these thousands of people watching. But if you could put up the link for your event next weekend so that people could take a look at it, that would really, really be cool, because it's just so fantastic. I'm already paid and signed up to attend their event next weekend. That's how great I think these guys are. I paid for Shelley in our office to go as well, and I'm going to pay for a friend of mine in Australia to attend as well. So if you're interested in virtual events, I see my pal Waldo Waldman is on here. Waldo, this would be great for you. Just take a look at it, because it's absolutely extraordinary. It's extraordinary what they're doing. And Blue, probably before you had a chance to get on here, I was just saying, this event is life-changing. It's just absolutely fantastic. And what it is reinforced in me is the importance to continue to learn. There's the link if you'd like to learn about what Blue and Barry are doing with their Sage events, is the name of the company. And I'll leave this up here because, and by the way, this was not planned. I was shocked to see you on here, because if there's anybody that's busy this weekend, man, it's you. So yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if we learn about the other side, we can understand, we can then discuss with intelligence, and may I add to that too, and with respect. I mean, I've said it here before, but Ford doesn't come out with ads that say, if you buy a Chevy, you're an idiot. I mean, that's not going to sell any more Fords. It's not going to make a Chevy owner decide to stop driving. I am an idiot. I'd better stop driving this thing. I mean, they're not going to do that. It's going to make them more committed to be, a Ford driver, a Chevy driver. So the key for us is going to be connecting. And yes, respect is missing. And so that's our key. How do we create that kind of a respect? So just as I'm doing, and that's it, it's really, really been an exciting weekend to learn and to grow from the message of the program that I'm attending of Product Launch Formula. And I know that with next weekend, with what Blue and Barry are going to be doing with Sage is just fantastic, and I can't wait to be a part of that. That's the message for today, is that regardless of where we are, regardless of what we're doing, we got to continue to learn and to stretch and to, I've said before, oh, thanks, Doug, I appreciate it. I've said before, we keep hearing about the new normal, and that's wrong. It's wrong. If it's new, it won't feel normal. If it's normal, it means it cannot be new. There is no new normal. There's going to be maybe the new uncomfortable, all right, or the old normal, but it's going to be uncomfortable, and that's why we have to stretch now to prepare ourselves for the discomfort. But let me tell you, the discomfort of not being prepared is extraordinarily more significant than the discomfort of going through the learning process. I'm here to tell you, death concerns me. Irrelevance terrifies me. Let's not let ourselves get to the point that we are irrelevant. Here's a great speaker and a hero with his service. It's my pal, Rob Waldo Waldman. Thanks, my friend. Happy weekend to you as well. Ron Dottie is here. Oh, man, I appreciate that, Ron. You have been with our UBS program, and you're just one of the best. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So that's the topic of today. I'm going to get back. Oh, wait a minute. Blue says my best conversation about Yes, exactly. I had that happen yesterday, Blue. After PLF was done for the day, we a bunch of friends, we have our virtual cocktail hour. And a buddy of mine in Nashville was on it. And we got one in Phoenix, one in Nashville, one in Denver, one in Dallas, and me in Vegas. And we toast each other. And then we argue for like an hour as we're sitting there drinking. And we completely disagree on many things, but we do it intelligently, hopefully, somewhat intelligently, but we do it respectfully. And my intellect my intellect doesn't grow. I don't grow if all I do is talk to people that think the same thing I do. I mean, if we all think the same things, one of us is unnecessary. I mean, we got to continue to do this. We got to continue to learn. We got to continue to grow. And it seems to me that's not just what business, that's what life is all about. So that does it for today's Project Distinct. I am Project Distinct, Daily Distinct. Project Distinct, by the way, is my podcast, but Daily Distinction is this. And by the way, if you like free resources, all you need to do is go to distinctionnation.com, distinctionnation.com, where you can, we got a 14-day audio program on creating personal distinction that you can download. It's absolutely free ebook. There's so much there for you. Just go and sign up at distinctionnation.com. I'll also remind you that tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, it's the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott. Glenn, of course, is Glenn Morshower, who played Agent Aaron Pierce on 24 for several seasons. He's now on The Resident on Fox, which is so cool, and one of the great character actors out there. So hope you join us tomorrow night as well for the Ken and Glenn show. Meanwhile, I'll be back here tomorrow and look forward to I'm in the house, and thank you for noticing that. So I'll be back here tomorrow at noon Pacific and 3 o'clock Eastern for another edition of Daily Distinction. It means the world that you take time out of your day to join me. Thank you so much. I look forward to catching up with you again tomorrow.